Welcome, guys, to podcast 14. Today we're going to talk about a topic that is it's unavoidable, right? And I don't think we've really covered it that much in the podcast so far, but we're going to talk about temptation and what that means. And start off, temptation is something that you cannot avoid, right? It's going to happen. You could be a monk in Siberia and you could just be alone for 50 years. You're still going to be tempted, bro. You're not escaping this, dude. And regardless if you're a monk or if you're like me in America or something, it doesn't matter where you are on this planet, dude. You're not avoiding this. It's going to happen. It happens to everybody, and there's some points where you just can't walk away. Well, I mean, that's not entirely true, but now we're going to go into what that means and how to overcome temptation, right? Now, obviously, we can all agree that fighting temptation is not going to work. And seeing how close you can get to the edge, also not going to work. And I feel like sometimes when it comes to temptation, we tend to entertain the idea of giving in, but not giving in. You know what I'm trying to say? You try to hey, I can at least enjoy a little bit of what it offers, but not actually do it, type of thing. It's like you want to see how close you can get to the electric fence without touching it, bro. Just to be next to the electric fence. I don't know. And you can understand what I'm trying to say. For example, right? I can't lie, right? When it comes to, I struggle with lust, right? That's a very big and obvious thing, right? And now there's some people that maybe it doesn't affect them as much, but for me, that is something I deal with on a daily basis, right? If I find a girl attractive, she's attractive, okay? I can't just deny that, all right? And when you're in that situation where you know what I'm saying? For me, it's I struggle with that. I really do. And when it comes to that, you instead of trying to sheer willpower, I got this, I can resist, bro. Instead of doing that, when you're being tempted, I'm trying to work on this right now. Instead, just pray to God while you're being tempted. Be like, yo, God, I'm struggling with this. I don't know what to do. Please help me. And I would just pray to him while you're being tempted, and I guarantee you that it's going to help you and stuff like that. Because I feel like that would help me, but I often forget to do that. I just kind of try to try to do something else, right? And one thing you could do is instead of focusing on the temptation, you focus on God instead, right? Instead of focusing on that, you focus on God, right? And remind yourself in that moment that God is bigger than your problems. He's bigger than your temptations. He's bigger than your desires. He's bigger than all of that. And there's nothing too big for God to handle. And for me, I'll be honest, bro, just if you're struggling, just stop trying, bro. I'm not saying, oh, give in. I'm saying, give it to God. Just be like, yo, God, I don't know, bro. I'm kind of cooked. And you know what I'm saying? Just give it to God, and he'll do what he's good at. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times when it comes to temptation, we tend to like try to fight it ourselves because we think we got this, bro, and we don't. And I mean, like lust, it's horrible. It's not fun. And the more you think about it, the worse it gets. So you have to change who you're thinking about, and you have to focus on God, right? So let's say you're in a situation, a social one. Like for me, I often get in this where it's like you there's like a girl in the room or something like that, and like you're struggling, you're trying to like lock in with what you're trying to do, but you know she's there. I would just stop thinking about her and thinking about how God is also in that room, right? And once you like take your mind off of the temptation and onto God, that's when you realize that, oh, hold on, God's with me. I'm chill. And I'll admit that this advice sounds crazy, And I wish I followed it better. But it's true, you know? Like, God's bigger than your problems, bro. Like, you got this, dude. And I'll admit, there are also other methods, too. So, if you know you're going to, like, if you, like, suppose, like, you knew that if you did something, it's going to cause you to be tempted, right? Let's say you knew that if you went to the club, you would have sex, right? You knew full well that I'm going to fail, right? Don't set yourself up to fail, right? If you knew that, if you know, you know your weaknesses, right? Well, don't put yourself in a position like that if you know you're gonna like screw up, right? Now, that is a good approach, but sometimes it's just, sometimes it's just, you fail to do that and you end up in a situation you don't want. And that's, what I'm saying? I'm not saying like God's a second hand, like, no, like I mean, that does help too. But most importantly, rely on God, right? That's basically the point, right? And you have to trust him regardless of what happens, even though oftentimes it's hard. And temptation is something all of us face, obviously. The question is, what are you going to do with it? And it's hard. It really is. It really is hard, you know what I'm saying? It reminds me of when Jesus went into the desert, right? After he got baptized, right? Spent 40 days, 40 nights, no food or water. And then Satan came to tempt him, not at his strongest, but at his weakest. And that's also something you got to know about temptation is, he's not going to attack you in your prime, bro. Like, he's going to wait until you're at 1 HP. Then that's when the final boss comes, bro. Like, Satan never plays fair, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, oftentimes we expect Satan to tempt us in a way that's obvious. You know what I'm saying? Like, Satan, I want you to think through this, right? Satan barely tempts you in the areas that you know you would never fail in, right? He's always going to tempt you in that one area he knows you don't know what to do, right? And he's really smart about that. And sometimes his attacks are obvious, and other times they're not. Other times he waits for an opportunity to strike you when you know that you had like a critical hit point or something. I don't know, type of thing. And what doesn't help is doubt. And we talked about this last podcast. Satan loves doubt, and like he'll use that to his advantage, because if he can get you to doubt whether or not God is real or if his promises are true, then he already got like a good grip on you, bro. You might be cooked. And you know what I'm saying? That makes the temptation way worse, because he can twist it to make it look like, oh, this is actually not that bad. And you know what I'm saying? And a lot of times what Satan does with temptation is he's going to hide the cost of it. He's going to make it look like, oh, there's no consequences to doing this. Like, yeah, you could sleep with her. It's just one kiss, bro. It's not gonna like, it's not gonna like go anywhere else, right? And you know what I'm saying? It's like imagine a boulder on top of a hill, right? As soon as you push it over, it's gonna go faster and faster until it hits the bottom of the whatever it was on, right? And it's better to try to stop it at the top of the hill instead of like halfway in between the hill, bro, or else you're gonna get crushed by the rock, bro. Make it rumble. But no, you know what I'm trying to say? And I want you to know that there are gonna be times where you fail, where like you get crushed by that rock. And the crazy thing is after that, Satan's gonna be like, yo, bro, you suck, dude. Like, God hates you, bro. You fail. He's gonna abandon you now, or something like that. And he's gonna make you feel horrible. And he's be like, well, it's too late for you. Now you have to keep going. And that's even worse, because so basically he plays ping pong with you. So he makes you feel bad, and then offers more temptation, and then he just makes you feel bad after you take it again. It's like ping pong, bro. And I hate it so much because I've dealt with it, and that's when God's grace comes in, right? If you're at that point where he's about to play ping pong with you, it's like you have to realize that his grace is enough for you, right? Doesn't matter how horrible of a person you are, or it doesn't matter what you do. No, that doesn't mean you do whatever you want, but it doesn't matter what you do. You could always come back and be like, yo, God, I'm cooked, bro. And that's how you get out of that, if you're in that point. And you gotta remember this, that God's never gonna allow you to be tempted beyond what you can handle, right? Like, God's never gonna allow the temptation to be greater than your ability to, like, ask him for help or something like that. And it's hard, right? Dang, bro. Yeah, I'm walking in the forest right now. They keep cutting down trees. I don't know, it's kind of crazy. Anyways, back on topic, right? Temptation is hard, and you have to go to God for it. Basically, that's the whole point. And like, you could try to do it by yourself, bro, but trust me, it's a horrible experience. And we're going to talk about false gospels in a later podcast. Probably not the next one, but thanks for listening, guys. Stay tuned for more. And that's basically what temptation is.